name is Destiny. You can call me Future Nurse Destiny, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you what's in my clinical bag. I am so excited to show you guys what's in my clinical bag, and the video after this one is posted is going to be what's in my backpack, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that. So before I show you what's in my clinical bag, I want to go ahead and show you some accessories that I bring with me to clinical. The first one is this travel mug, and I just have Future Nurse and Destiny on the back. And I have my water bottle that also says Future Nurse. These two items are essential for me. I am terrible at drinking water, but I tend to want it a lot while I'm at clinical. And coffee in the morning is just a must for me. So I always bring these two items with me. And then I also have this matching lunch tote. We do have a lunch break at clinical, so I do bring this lunch tote with me. So let's go ahead and jump into my clinical bag. So normally all the stuff that's in here, a lot of this I actually put in my pockets first thing in the morning or the night prior. So a lot of this doesn't necessarily stay in my clinical bag, but it does go with me to clinical. So let's go ahead and start in this first pocket. This bag, by the way, is from Etsy. I will leave a link for it down below. This is a scrub pocket organizer. And in this first little pocket here, I just have a ton of alcohol preps because your nurse is going to need them, you might need them. And this little Velcro, in front of that, I have some Listerine strips, which I always forget to use, but those are in there as well. And then right here, I have some bandage scissors. Behind that, I have a erasable pen, pencil, black pen, blue pen. These are not erasable, and an extra pen light. So these are the things that I keep in my scrub pocket organizer, and this goes in the right side of my scrubs. Next up, I have my clinical journal. I either bring this with me and just keep it in here, or I take this home. So this is just in this front pocket here. Also in this front pocket is a little pencil grip that kind of keeps your pens and pencils. So I have a blue and black erasable pen. That is all for this pocket. So in this pocket, sometimes, especially once I'm finished with my coffee, I'll put my mug right in here. It fits really nicely. I have a chewy granola bar in here because sometimes I just need that quick snack. I tend to forget to eat breakfast, it's like 5 in the morning by the time I go to clinical, so I don't want to eat breakfast just yet, but I'll try to get a granola bar in before I start seeing patients. So I have a granola bar, I have pen line, and then I have this wet erase marker here. Okay, and right behind that little pocket, I have a couple of other pockets, and in this one I just have my clinical notes, and I actually do use this pretty often. Our school actually provides us with the clinical paperwork that we need to get done, and so we're able to write notes on those. However, it is easy to just keep this with me because I don't always want to bring that in with me with the patient. I'll just write quick notes on here and keep this in my pocket. Okay, and then right behind that, I just have an extra little 4-function calculator. And I just want to mention as well that I also bring this bag to my class lab. So I bring this to my fundamentals lab as well as my health assessment lab. So things like a calculator, things like scissors, things like pen light, things like that are really important for me to have during lab as well. So I really just transfer this both places. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get into the big pocket here, and it is zip, which is something that I really like. Let me go ahead and just start pulling things out of this part of the bag. So first of all, I just have this really nasty looking Ziploc bag. I have my KN95 mask. They do require us to wear this to clinical, and it has makeup all over it. I need to wash it again. But I do have my KN95 in here, and they also require us to wear face shields in the patient's room. The next up, I have this little pouch, and you guys probably have seen this in my school supply haul. It is just a little Starbucks pouch, but I have extra badge reels in here just in case mine breaks, mine snaps. We have to wear a badge on us at all times, so I definitely keep this in here just in case mine breaks. I also have a bunch of those Nurse Nation little ID badge cards that have a bunch of different information on them. That way, if I know that day I'm going to need to look at EKGs, I'm probably not just yet, I can go ahead and pull those out of this and put it on my badge reel. I also don't necessarily need this for clinical, but this is a blood pressure cuff, and I just have it in this little drawstring bag. Okay, and next up I have my Stethoscope Case. This is from Amazon. It is the BOVKE brand. I just have Destiny with a stethoscope on it with vinyl. So when you open it up, this is pretty much everything I take with me to clinical, and I typically put all this stuff in my pocket. So I have a pulse ox in here, and I don't necessarily keep this on my person because the patients are typically hooked up to it, but like I said, I use this for lab as well, and we're doing head to toe assessments. So I just have this pulse ox. I got this at Walmart for a pretty good price, by the way. So I also obviously have my stethoscope in here with my stethoscope tag from Etsy. I have some shears and hemostats. I have 2 pen lights, and I have my secondhand watch. So that is everything that is in this little part. Next up, I have my foldable clipboard, and I cannot describe how important this is, guys. I use this literally every single time I go to clinical. It is so helpful. So this is super crucial for clinical. I highly recommend it. Okay, next up we do care plans. So I have this nursing care plans book. Okay, and there's also a little pouch in here that just sticks right in here, and it fits so much stuff. So first of all, I just have a little aloe water and cucumber Scentsy hand cream. I also have a lint roller. Our scrubs pick up lint like crazy, so I definitely have this handy. Okay, and last but not least, I want to go ahead and show you my clinical rotation binder. My university faculty told me just to be cautious about what I'm showing, so I'm not going to show you everything that's in here, but I am going to kind of walk through it with you guys because I do think that this is so helpful to have. So first of all, I just have my little binder cover in here, and I also have my clinical dates and lab dates on the back, so I know when I'm going to clinical that week or if I'm going to lab that week. So when I open it up, first thing I have in the pocket, so one of the things that we have to do is we have clinical objectives. So I have to basically write a 2 to 3 sentence response to our objectives to see if I'm reaching that objective each week. Also, you guys know in the front part of your binders, they have the little sleeve. I use that for the current week. So before I go to clinical, I get my packet together and I stick it in there. I get my COVID screening form, I stick it in there. That way I don't have to go scramble through the rest of this to get the rest of my packet. I have it handy right in the front part. So all I have to do is grab it, put it on my clipboard, and go to my patient's rooms. Next up is everything that is 3-hole punched and in the ring. So I have my clinical objectives in here. I have my hospital's campus map in here in case I get lost, which I'm comfortable now, but you just never know. One morning you're scrambled and you're late and you forget where you're supposed to park. I have that there. Luckily I'm at a smaller hospital, but I know that that can happen with really big ones as well. I also have my hospital's contract and student orientation packet. This just has everything about the hospital that I need to know. So I have that in there just in case. I also have these student ground rules for my hospital in here. I have a responsibility, confidentiality, and compliance form that I had to sign, so I just have a copy of that in here. Next up, I have a really important checklist, and this is my skills checklist. So each week at lab, we're getting checked off on skills, so I have a copy of that in here. And then we get into the actual clinical paperwork part of things. So my clinical paperwork requires us to have 5 sheets of papers, each being different things. So the first one is actually the clinical objectives, and that's something that we just hold on to throughout the entire semester. So I have a copy of that in the front. I have a little tab for it next to it. I'm sorry that I have to be so vague. I have a tab next to that on top of that piece of paper, and then behind that I have a sheet protector where I'm keeping extra copies of that clinical, like the clinical objectives, and I do that for every single piece of paperwork. Anyways, that is in the first sleeve, is the clinical objectives. Next up, we have to do the pathophysiology of the disease or the condition that the patient is in. We have to do 6 meds and 6 lab values. So I have those in the same kind of order where I have a template in front, and then behind it I have a sheet protector with tons of extra copies. Next, I have my head to toe assessment. So they actually give us a full what we need to record for our patient, which is so helpful. It's nerve-wracking to go into the patient's room and try to ask for all these things, but because it is a lot, but we do have this provided for us, and this is something that we turn in as well. And we also have to do 2 nursing notes with that one. Same thing, I have my sheet protector, and I need to fill that one up because it's empty. Next up, we have the nursing process or care plan. So same thing, I just have that tapped out like this, and this is just in my binder with extra copies behind it. I also have the weekly formative evaluation. So whenever we turn in our clinical paperwork on the second day, we give our instructor this kind of rubric, and they grade us and give it back to us, and then we send it back with our fundamentals instructor. So the night before or the day, I take one of each of those and I put it in the front of my binder. That way I'm prepared. My clinical packet is complete. It's all together, and then I just put it on my clipboard. Next up, I have just a couple more things in my 3-hole punch, and these are my graded clinical packets that I've already done. So I've already been to 2 clinical weeks, and I have 1 more left. So I have just my graded ones back here so that I can kind of refer to it and see what I missed last time and make sure I'm not making that mistake again. So I have those back here. And last but not least, in this back kind of sleeve pocket in the back of the binder. I have my entire clinical, what would this be called? My clinical packet. So I have my shot record, my drug screening, my CPR checklist, and stuff like that. So that is everything that is in here. The moral of the story is make extra copies so you have them. You want to be as prepared as possible when you go into clinical. I think that is everything that I wanted to go ahead and show you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.